Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on, the slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. I'm going to burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. Broke the slump yesterday as the slump discontinues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you, Bettor Off Dead. It is Monday, July 28th, the start of a new week, baby. Maybe a new streak is continuing, or starting, I guess, because the one play I gave out on the show was a winner yesterday. Miami and Milwaukee in baseball, under the total. That was a winner. The game was low scoring the whole way. It was decent pitching duel. It was 2-1 into the 8th inning, I think, and then it wound up 3-2. Luckily, it did not go into extra innings, though, because that could be a problem with the ghost runners and stuff. Unders basically go there to die, so luckily we did get that. Scott, what's up? Oh, thank you, sir. They might want me to become a regular. I don't know. Good morning as well. Yes, let's be gay with today. It's to-gay. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to really say about yesterday. I will congratulate that Krista dude, whatever his name was, if he's back. Very good call in the WNBA from that guy on the Connecticut Sun. They actually won in a monster blowout. So my WNBA stuff, I don't even know what I'm talking about with the WNBA anymore, man. Even though I'm actually winning on the WNBA season, I haven't made a play in probably over a week now in the WNBA, and I'm not going to today either. The Connecticut Sun, though, who I just mentioned, coming off beating Golden State by 31 points. That's never going to happen again. Connecticut is on a back-to-back now and playing at home against Seattle, so I would have to imagine not a very good spot for Connecticut coming off that blowout win there. Probably pretty much an outlier of a game there. I mean, I didn't really look at the statistics in this game because I'm just not going to bet anything or give out any bets. Connecticut had a ridiculous shooting game, 53% from the field, 41.4% from three. Golden State, unbelievably bad, 33.9% from the field, 28.1% from three, also pretty low. Golden State got massacred in the turnover battle, 24 turnovers. So, I mean, that game, a lot of outlier statistics in that game, so I would not expect Connecticut to do better than that in any game for the rest of the season. Seattle is coming off a pretty bad loss to Washington, so I expect Seattle to actually show up in this game. It is a third straight road game, though, and you're having to lay a huge price with Seattle, up from 9.5 to 12 now. I don't know if there are injuries here in this game, but, I mean, I would lean to Seattle, but I just don't know if you'd want to lay a point spread like that. I mean, that is a ridiculous spread. It's just Samuelson still being out for the season there for Seattle, which obviously would not be anything that would increase the line on Seattle. So maybe actual money coming in on Seattle in that one. That is still the only way that I would lean in that game, but I'm not going to lay 12.5 points in that game. Liberty are at Dallas as well. Liberty coming off losing a win streak. They had a 5-game win streak snapped by the LA Sparks. At home, Liberty lost is like a pretty big favorite, but sometimes when you lose a win streak like that, it'll hang you over. So I think it might be a little bit more of a hangover effect maybe than a bounce-back spot for the Liberty, although they do get to get out of home, start a road trip, which that part of it should actually be a positive for them. And because they did lose as a double-digit favorite at home, they might potentially show up focused here. Dallas is on a back-to-back. staying at home. Dallas got destroyed yesterday without Beckers, which I thought that Dallas would step it up. As I said, injured player theory spot. I thought they would step it up without Beckers in there, and they still got blown out. blown out. They got blown out by the Aces yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, Dallas, they're still on a back-to-back. I don't know if Beckers is coming back in this game or not. We can figure that out right now, I guess. She's out, but listed as returning today. That doesn't make any sense. So I guess keep an eye on that and see if she's going to come back or not. If she does come back, I still think that doesn't really make it that positive a spot for Dallas, though, because if she comes back, they have to work her back into the rotation. So I don't love that either. The Liberty are up on the spread a little bit from 8 to 8.5, but you're not going to find me laying these like road favorites like this for the most part. So it's all a stay away. Major League Baseball, I'm going to give out 2 plays. I'm going to give out a first 5 innings side, and I'm going to give out a full game total, which I might be a little bit worried about the bullpens in that game, but hopefully we still get it. The side is going to be in this first game, and I'm going to skip it for now. And hopefully the market read remains in agreement with me on that one, because I want to go with the market, man, if I can, like more often than not. I like to have my sense of the game line up with what the market is telling me more often than not. Arizona at Detroit. So we have a lot of new series starting today, man. Monday sometimes can be a thin baseball card, but today it's like every team is playing, I think. Detroit just snapped that long loss streak. They had 6, 7 losses in a row, whatever that was. I think 6. They finally won yesterday, beating Toronto pretty easily 10-4, although Detroit did use a decent amount of their bullpen in that game. Arizona actually used less of their bullpen. Arizona got smacked by Pittsburgh. They actually just had a 3-game series with Pittsburgh where they actually won one of the games, but they only scored 1 run in the entire series. These Pittsburgh series are so bizarre, man. Like, you're just seeing weird, like, shutouts all over the place involving Pittsburgh one way or the other. I still don't really understand it. Arizona going from Pittsburgh to Detroit might be good for them to just get out of there. Could be a decent bounce-back spot. So as far as the scheduling is concerned, it looks like Arizona could be in a little bit of bounce-back spot. Detroit might be in a good spot as well, though, because they just snapped that loss streak. So sometimes when you do that and you get back to winning, it can give you some new momentum. So both teams are kind of in a positive spot, in my opinion. Detroit used more of their bullpen, but Arizona has the worst of the 2 bullpens. So I think you probably still have to give Detroit a little bit of a bullpen edge here, even though they're a little bit less rested. Eduardo Rodriguez is going to be the starter for Arizona here. His numbers on the season are not good. 5.5 ERA, 1.65 whip. None of that is good, obviously. He's been pretty much the same home and away. Arizona's lost 4 straight starts of his. He's been kind of all over the place, man. He's coming off an okay start against Houston where he shut them out for 6 1/3 innings, but he did walk 3 guys in that game. This month, he has a pretty bad 7.36 ERA, a lot of it because he gave up 8 earned runs against Kansas City, which is not a good sign. I mean, you're giving up runs to Kansas City. There's obviously something wrong with you. 13-5 strikeout walk ratio this month is not really that impressive either. So Erod, I would not say is in very good form right now. He's going up against Detroit, who are still pretty good at home despite the recent slide. They have a good offense. His numbers against Detroit are very weird because only Baez and Torres have ever faced him before. Torres accounts for 27 of the 29 at-bats against him. And overall, they are 345 hitters off him, 345 batting average, 1,319 OPS, 7 walks, 6 strikeouts, but almost all of it is Torres. Torres is 9 for 27 with 4 home runs off of him, a ridiculous home run rate, all 6 of those walks and all 7 of the strikeouts. And Baez 1 for 2 off him. So very strange that you see one guy with that much of a sample size, but that means that Erod might be able to pitch around Torres, and he's actually unfamiliar to a lot of the other players on Detroit. And I think Eduardo Rodriguez was actually on Detroit, right? Yeah, he was. So before he went to Arizona, he was on Detroit. I don't know if he's actually faced Detroit since then, so that could be an extra motivator potentially. When a pitcher goes up against their former team, sometimes they are motivated a bit, but he's really had a drop-off, man. He was decent. He was actually good for Detroit in 2023, and since he's been on Arizona, his numbers have declined massively. So it's hard to get a gauge on this game, really, man. I mean, obviously, that's the reason why I'm not going to play this game. And then Detroit has Troy Melton starting, and he is a young pitcher who only has one major league start so far, which didn't go well against Pittsburgh. He gave up 6 runs against that pretty weak lineup. Did strike out 7 in 5 innings, so that's a good sign that he had a really high strikeout rate in the game. Did walk 2 guys. He gave up 2 home runs. Maybe he was a little bit nervous, but the 2 home runs, of course, meant that he wound up giving up more runs than he would have otherwise. It wasn't a horrible start, though, for a debut, I wouldn't say. It actually kind of looks a little bit worse than it was. Like, the strikeout stuff was there. Melton does have some decent stuff. I mean, if you look at his scouting and his minor league stats, he's not that bad. So he might do better here. Obviously, the D-backs have never seen him before. So when you have a young, talented pitcher, they can have an edge over the opposing lineup when they haven't been seen before. The opposing lineup kind of has to figure him out, although I know it didn't work out in his first game against Pittsburgh. I mean, this game is definitely a stay away for me. I don't even know what to do with this game. I mean, we can look at the market read, and it looks like there's a strong market read on Arizona, though. Detroit up from -123 to -128 as a favorite there. 84% of tickets on them, but 55% of the cash coming back on Arizona. I'm still wondering about Arizona's mental state, though, after you're getting up close to the trade deadline. Arizona traded Josh Naylor away, so you know that Arizona's basically indicating that they're sellers now and they're not going for it this year. So, again, it's hard to gauge. I mean, I keep mentioning that, but that's just the way that it is. And Arizona, I mean, they're still going to show up and play, though. Like, when you're out there in the field, you're not going to intentionally lose a game. You know what I mean? Like, you still have pride. You still want to win these games. So, we'll see what happens in that game. Very, very difficult to gauge that game for me. Arizona and Detroit there. Andrew, what's up, man? Couldn't watch the Angels game at the Brewery. Only available on Roku. Yeah, they won, which actually surprised me against Seattle. Yeah, I did not expect them to actually win that game. Lance Hendricks, is that his name? He was actually pretty good in the game yesterday. Colorado at Cleveland. This is another one of those games. This is a game nobody wants to watch. Probably a game that you shouldn't be betting. Cleveland is technically returning home from a road trip, but they only went to Kansas City. So we really only have one really long road trip return. On Mondays, that's one of the things I like to look for. I like to look to fade the Sunday night teams, and I like to look for teams that are returning home from long road trips and fade them, which there is only really one today, and it's not going to be one of the games that I'm getting involved in or recommending a play on, since, as I keep saying, I'm not actually betting these games here right now. Trying to get my my financial state in order here. Cleveland, they are returning home from that road trip, a big divisional series against Kansas City. They did have to play an extra game on Saturday. They had to play a doubleheader, so maybe they'll be a little bit extra tired for that reason. Colorado's coming in from Baltimore. Colorado, I believe, just lost again yesterday. Don't really trust either bullpen, although Colorado's bullpen is the worst of the two. Both offenses are bad, but again, Colorado is the worst of the two. I think Colorado's starting pitcher is the worst of the two, Bradley Blaylock. Really young guy, though, so it's possible he does get better. It's possible he's going to be better away from home. 8.67 ERA, 1.78 whip. I mean, that's not very good at all, obviously. He has been better on the road, though, away from Coors Field. It's a small sample size, though, but 4.5 ERA in the road. Last 2 starts this month, he's only allowed 3 runs in 11 innings, so that's not that bad. But he also only has 1 strikeout, so he's not striking out anybody, so that's kind of a concern. It looks like he's not really a strikeout pitcher at all. I just don't expect much from him at all, man, even though those starts look okay on the surface, but I'm not buying it really. Up against Cleveland, though, they are a pretty bad offense, and Blaylock has never been seen by them before, so maybe he does have a little bit of an edge in that respect against this Cleveland offense. I think the preferred starter here is definitely Slade Ciccone, because he has proven himself a lot more than Blaylock has in his young career. For Cleveland here, 3.76 ERA this year, 1.23 whip. Pretty decent numbers there. He's been worse at home, though. 4.98 ERA at home. Not great. This month, he's been pretty decent. 3.95 ERA, 18-6 strikeout walk ratio. Cleveland has won his last 3 starts. He's given up 2 earned runs apiece in 3 of these outings, and then he did give up 6 in a game against the A's, but he went 8 1/3 innings in that one. He's got at least 6 innings in every start this month, so they're letting him go, man. They basically have him off the leash, which is something I do kind of like to see, as long as that pitcher isn't going to get burned out or anything like that. And now he's going up against, who are they playing again? Oh, yeah, Colorado. Colorado, really bad offense. Ciccone, I mean, I would expect him to do okay against them. They only have 10 at-bats against him lifetime. They have no extra base hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks. They do have a 300 average off of him, but 3 for 10 with no other, statistics isn't really that good, and 600 OPS against him. So I think Ciccone is still pretty good against him. Should do fine, but obviously, if you want Cleveland, you're having to pay a huge price for it. And even though they do have the advantage, I think across the board in this game, other than the fact that they're returning home, I wouldn't do it. I mean, this price, should Cleveland be favored by this much against anybody? Probably not. Up from -2, or down from -230, -227. They're very public. 95% of tickets, 96% of the cash on them. We do see money coming in on the under the 9 here. 57% of tickets on the over, 70% of the cash on the under. I mean, you do have 2 pretty weak offenses, so that's probably kind of the argument for the under. And Ciccone looks like he's set up to do pretty well against Colorado. Blaylock, I'm not so sure that he's actually going to do well in that game, so I don't think I would want the under either. No, I do not care about NASCAR. I don't watch it. I don't touch it. I don't know how Bubba Wallace won that. He wasn't scared by a noose this time, I guess. The under, which you mean the one I gave out yesterday? Yeah, that worked out pretty well. Boyd and Miz, yeah. You're saying that I'm going to have an under on that game? Is that what you think? Well, we'll see, because you know that I do have a play on that game, because I listed it in the title here, and I did say one of my plays is a total. Is it the under in that game? I don't know. Tampa Bay at Yankees. Yankees finally ended a loss streak there yesterday. Well, they had lost 3 in a row. I mean, they haven't been doing that well, though. The Yankees actually had one of the worst records over the last month or so. They did beat Philadelphia yesterday. Yankees still kind of struggling, though, man. I mean, their offense is good, but their bullpen hasn't really been that good. They used most of their best relievers yesterday, so the Yankees bullpen not exactly in the greatest shape here. Tampa's coming in off a loss, getting swept, actually, by Cincinnati, I think. They didn't use as many of their better relievers yesterday. I did say I liked the under in the first 5 innings in that game yesterday, and the whole game went under. So I mean, you got to give the bullpen advantage to Tampa in this game, but one of the questions is going to be, how early is the bullpen going to get involved in this game? Because Drew Rasmussen is pitching for Tampa, and he's having a good season. He's actually been their best starter. 2.93 ERA, 1.03 whip. Tampa's just kind of getting away with having a whole rotation of mediocrity, basically, and they're just winning games anyway. So maybe Tampa isn't going to be as good for the rest of the season. Rasmussen has been good, though. He's pretty decent on the road, too, 3.3 ERA. The question is, how deep is he going to go in this game? Because he was going all this, the starter's workload, and then they started limiting his pitches way down. He's gone no more than 4 innings since June 25th now. It looks like maybe they kind of ramped his pitch count down so they could get him ready for the All-Star game. But I don't think they knew he was going to be in the All-Star game until maybe one start before that. So it kind of makes sense that was a shortened start. And then after the All-Star break, he came out and he had a mediocre start against the White Sox, and they let him go 4 innings. Is he going to get ramped up again and go 5+ innings again? I don't know. I mean, maybe he will, but that's the question, because right now we don't really know the answer to that. But he has been pretty good throughout the course of the season. He just doesn't allow many runs. I mean, he's allowed no more than 4 earned runs in any start all season. But if you like Rasmussen here, you're going to want him to get, deeper into this game than what he has been doing. He does have good numbers against the Yankees in 31 at-bats, a 129 average allowed. He's allowed 0 extra base hits to them, 358 batting average, or 358 OPS, excuse me. Batting average would be bad. OPS, that's really good, and 12-4 strikeout walk ratio. So Rasmussen has good matchup numbers, even though the Yankees are good at hitting. So I kind of like Rasmussen in this game. He's going to be opposed by the rookie Cam Schlittler for the Yankees here. Schlittler I think he has 2 starts now so far. His ERA 4.35, 1.55 WHIP is definitely too high. He's been worse at home, 5.06 ERA at home. But again, it's only 2 starts. And really, he wasn't that bad. He went at least 5 innings in both of them. Didn't allow more than 3 earned runs in either of them. Really, the walk rate has been his one problem. His strikeout rate is fine. 10 and 10 in the third, not that bad. But 5 walks, that's where the problems are coming in, man. So he's got to get his wildness under control a little bit. And I think he might be able to. I mean, he is a decent prospect. And obviously, I mean, I don't have to switch to it. But obviously, Tampa has never faced him before. So Schlittler could have a little bit of an edge there over Tampa over there before. So the way that I'm looking at this game is under in the first 5 innings, because we don't know how long Rasmussen's even going to go in this game. But while he's in there, he does look like he has a matchup edge. Schlittler may have the matchup edge as well against the hitters that haven't seen him. Don't really want anything to do with the Yankees bullpen. So I think first 5 under is the way to look at this. The total's gone down from 9 to 8.5 on the full game, all the way to juice to the under. So a fairly significant move, even though we see 67% of tickets, 77% of the cash on the over. I'm not sure if I'm buying that. I mean, I think the public certainly will come in more often than not on an over in a Yankees game. And some of the money looks like it is coming in on the Yankees, up from minus 115 to minus 127 or minus 126 now. 68% of tickets, 73% of the cash on the Yankees. I mean, I'm not sure that I totally see the argument for that. I mean, I would not want anything to do with the Yankees bullpen. Obviously, the huge advantage the Yankees have is that their offense is the way better offense. And they're not having to travel. They're staying at home, I believe. So that's the other thing for the Yankees, at least. Yeah, they're staying at home. So Tampa is having to travel in from Cincinnati. But anyway, first 5 under, I think, is maybe the best way to look in that one. Dodgers are going to Cincinnati. Cincinnati is staying at home, and they're coming off a sweep of Tampa, like I said. So they do have kind of some momentum right now. I mean, it's not like Cincinnati's going to be in a letdown spot facing the Dodgers here. Dodgers are having to travel in from Boston, so they do have a little bit of travel here. That was a big series against the Red Sox, man. The Red Sox were able to take the last 2 games of the series. Dodgers, are they going to be hung over at all coming into this game? It's possible. Cincinnati, I believe, used more of their bullpen yesterday, though. Dodgers' bullpen is not that good, so I don't really trust either bullpen in this game, but I like both starters. I mean, you're looking at Boyd versus Miz today, which is definitely a good starting pitching matchup. This one looks to be pretty entertaining as well, with Yamamoto pitching for the Dodgers against Burns for the Reds. Yamamoto obviously has been good throughout the season, 2.55 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. He's better on the road, 1.84 road ERA, although Cincinnati, a difficult place to pitch. But he's just doing well overall, man. He's back in form again. He had one really bad start against Milwaukee this month, but it didn't really affect his numbers because he only went 2/3 of an inning. Overall this month, he still has a 2.29 ERA and a 23-6 strikeout walk ratio. So he is still pitching well. Up against the Cincinnati Reds, good numbers, although it's a small sample size of 13, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 154 average allowed, 497 OPS. So the Reds really have not done any damage against him. And he's going up against the rookie Chase Burns, who has bad-looking numbers for sure, 6.65 ERA, 1.62 WHIP. But this guy, and it's crazy he's from Italy, man. You would not guess that based on his name or, I guess, his appearance. This dude is from Italy. So he's my brother, man. Burns has been better at home, though, 4.09 ERA. But I know his stats look really bad on the season, but the one thing that he does do is he racks up a ton of strikeouts, man. He has 35 strikeouts so far in 21 2/3 innings. So if he's able to stop being wild and stop allowing, hits and hard contact, he's going to be good, man, because he can fool hitters at the major league level. If he's striking out that many guys, that's crazy. He struck out 10 apiece in his last 2 starts. It was against bad offenses in Colorado and Washington, and the Reds have lost 4 starts in a row behind him after they won his first start, and he didn't get the win in that one. But I like Burns, man. I think he is going to find a way to settle this down a little bit and not be as wild. He does throw really hard. He does have really good stuff. So I expect Burns to be better. at some point. Will it happen in this game? I don't know, man. The Dodgers, obviously, they're one of the best offenses in baseball. They are better at home, though, than they are on the road, but this is a pretty offensive park here. So I do worry about Burns a little bit coming into this game, but I do like his stuff. I think he has a very high ceiling. I think you still could maybe look at this game as being a first 5-inning under play here. We do see the total just kind of sitting at 9. I wouldn't want anything to do with the bullpens, like I said, but 87% of tickets on the over and only 67% of the cash on the over. So it's a public over, which makes sense. I mean, it's a game in Cincinnati involving the Dodgers. Public will only want to play an over in this game. But I would look first 5-inning under if I was going to do that game as well. Atlanta at Kansas City. Kansas City, here you go, Zach, with your team here. Kansas City did win that series against Cleveland. They've actually won 2 series in a row. It makes no sense, man. They beat the Cubs, and then they beat Cleveland. They're staying at home, so Kansas City at least has a travel advantage here. They don't have to travel. They did use a lot of their bullpen yesterday, though, which might be an issue with Rich Hill on the mound today because he's probably not going to go that deep into this game. So I think Atlanta may have a bullpen edge here in this game, even though their bullpen's not as good as Kansas City's normally. But Kansas City used too much of their bullpen yesterday. I think the Braves, I don't believe, used as much of theirs. Yeah, they just kind of Elder got destroyed, so I apologize for all that. I mean, I don't like Elder, so I think you can never really bank on Elder to do well ever. But the Braves kind of saved their bullpen because they knew that game was totally out of hand. So I actually think the Braves have a little bit of a bullpen edge here. But, of course, they've lost 5 games in a row, and they are traveling here. So the Braves have some negative momentum here, plus travel. So I don't really love the spot. But looking at the starting pitching matchup, you got to think the Braves have the starting pitching edge here with Spencer Strider pitching. I mean, he's the much younger pitcher and the pitcher that has the way better stuff at this point. 3.72 ERA, 1.18 whip, although he has been worse on the road, 4.55 road ERA. This month, doing well, 3.42 ERA. He has a really high strikeout rate, 32 strikeouts in 23 2/3 innings. But he's allowed 10 walks. He's allowed 3 walks or more in 5 of his last 6 starts, 3 or more walks. So Strider, he's still too wild, man. He's got to get less wild than that. And this month, the home runs have hurt him. He's allowed 5 home runs, but he's facing Kansas City here, so he might do well. Kansas City's offense is pretty bad. One of the worst in baseball, really. Sorry, Zach. And Kansas City is a more pitcher-friendly park, so I'm not expecting Strider to do really poorly in this game. He has decent numbers against KC, although they haven't really seen that much of him. They only have 4 hitters who have seen him before. 16 at-bats, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 250 average, 583 OPS. So I think Strider will be okay in this game. As I said, he's going up against Rich Hill, Zach's favorite guy, Dick Mountain. Both Dicks are pitching today, actually. Dick Fitz is pitching for the Red Sox today, too. Dick Hill and Dick Fitz. Dick Mountain and Dick Fitz. Rich Hill, he was decent. And he's from Boston, by the way, so there's Boston all around. And Rich Hill was on the Boston Red Sox. I think twice during his career he was on the Red Sox. Rich Hill, as we know, oldest player in the league. He made 1 start, and he was decently effective in that start. He has a 1.8 ERA and 1.6 whip. Obviously, the whip is not very good. The strikeout walk numbers were not good in that game, but it was against the Cubs, and the Cubs are a very good lineup, and he went 5 innings in that game, which was more than I expected. He only allowed 1 earned run, so the fielding wasn't really helping him behind him. He only allowed 6 hits, 2 walks, wasn't great. 1 strikeout, certainly not great, although Hill isn't really a strikeout guy. I mean, he tries to get guys to just make soft contact and get a lot of outs that way. Rich Hill up against, who do we have? The Braves here in his career. Actually has good numbers against him in 55 at-bats, 15 strikeouts, 4 walks, 182 batting average allowed, and 601 OPS. Do we trust any of those numbers, though, that Rich Hill has? I mean, he's so old at this point that I don't know that we could say that he's the same guy at this point. So I really don't know what we're going to get out of Hill here. Atlanta is a big road favorite and probably too heavy a favorite, man. I mean, I know Atlanta has the better offense. I know Atlanta has the better starting pitcher on the mound here. Atlanta probably actually has the bullpen edge, like I said, as well, just because they're more rested. But laying a price like this on the road with an Atlanta team that can't win a game right now doesn't seem to be that great of an idea to me. They're down from -170 to -165, but they actually are getting 96% of the cash, it looks like right now, which I'm not sure that I buy that. I don't see what professional money is going to be coming in on a road favorite like that. 58% of the tickets on Kansas City. I don't know that Kansas City would really be public either, although I think generally when you see Atlanta here, and it looks like it's still, the market is still kind of indicating that way, that Atlanta's kind of an anti-public and professional side here, which I'm certainly not going to get involved in it that way. I think the one thing is professionals keep going with this thing, like Atlanta is not as bad as their record looks, and they keep doing that, and Atlanta keeps losing, and I'm like, well, you just have to pick your spots, man. Like, I agree that Atlanta's talent is a lot better than what their record is right now, but their record, it's really, really bad right now. Yeah, it should get a little bit better than that, but you got to pick your spots and pick the right prices when they're playing, and I don't think this is the right price. The price is wrong, Bob. I still have not watched Happy Gilmore 2, though, and unfortunately, R.I.P. to Bob Barker and Carl Weathers, by the way, although they killed off Chubbs, spoiler, in the first one anyway, so they didn't need Carl Weathers to reprise his role anyway in that one. Anyway, yeah, I don't even know what I would do with this game, to be honest. Yeah, it's a tough call in that game. I don't even know as far as like team totals, what even makes the most sense. Atlanta maybe over their team total. It's a pretty high total of 9.5. If you want to fade the Rich Hill phenomenon here, because I think everybody's kind of like, everybody's just kind of thinking like, oh, Rich Hill is like, it's this whole thing now. It's like kind of overhyped. Speaking of the other dick, Boston at Minnesota here. Red Sox starting a road trip here, but it could be a little bit of a letdown spot. A lot of times when you start a road trip, you tend to be focused, but the Red Sox just beat the Dodgers twice, man, in a big weekend series. And now they are stepping way down in class here. The Red Sox just had to face, out of the All-Star break, they faced Cubs, Philly, and the Dodgers. So they faced 3 of the top 4 offenses in baseball, basically. Now they have to step way down in class to face this weak Minnesota offense, and Minnesota also does not have a good bullpen. Red Sox have the better bullpen, but both bullpens saw a lot of usage yesterday, so I don't trust either bullpen, first of all, coming into this game because of the rest scenario. I guess you have to give the Red Sox the bullpen edge. Just overall, their bullpen has been better than Minnesota's. The Red Sox have the better offense, but their offense is way worse on the road than it is at home, so that kind of evens it out a little bit too. Dick Fitz pitching for the Red Sox here. He's not been that good. 4.86 ERA, 1.27 whip. He's better on the road, though. 3.8 road ERA. Last start was a road start, and it wasn't good against Philadelphia. He gave up 4 runs in 3 1/3 innings because he gave up 2 bombs, but he did have 4 strikeouts, no walks. So his command has been okay this month. He has an 11-2 strikeout walk ratio this month. He's only allowed more than 3 earned runs twice this season, but the Red Sox have lost almost all of his starts. They've lost all but 2 of them. So things aren't really that great for Fitz. Against Minnesota, he has decent numbers in a small 16 at-bat sample size. He only has 1 strikeout against them, though, and 1 walk, but he's selling to a 250 batting average and 544 OPS. So his numbers against Minnesota are pretty good. He's going up against Simeon Woods Richardson, who has mediocre numbers, 4.14 ERA, 1.37 whip, not something that I like. 3.12 ERA at home, though, so he is better at home. Over the past month, his 2.55 ERA looks good, and the fact that he hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs in any start going all the way back to early June, that looks like he's pitching well, but I would kind of counter that. Even though Minnesota's actually won 4 of his last 5 games, it's like, well, that means Woods Richardson is pitching well, right? I don't think so, man, because this month he has a 12-11 strikeout walk ratio. That's not good at all. He's walking way too many guys. He walked 5 guys last time out against the Dodgers there. He walked a burger there, the 5 guys against the Dodgers. I know it's a good Dodger lineup, but still, that's not good. He failed to go 5 innings in each of his last 2 starts, including one against Pittsburgh, where he put too many guys on base, mostly via the hit. 6 hits in 4 2/3. So he's not really actually in good form right now. So I don't think I'm going to put much trust in Woods Richardson here. Red Sox really haven't seen him, though. Only Bregman has seen him, and Bregman has hit him well. 2 for 5, home run, and 1 strikeout against him, no walks. Although it's such a small sample size, there's nothing you can really take away from that other than you got a lot of unfamiliarity here, actually, really kind of from both pitchers against these lineups. There's a lot of unfamiliarity. The money looks like it's kind of come in towards the Red Sox. Minnesota has dropped from -123 down to -107. 53% of tickets, 58% of the cash coming in on the Red Sox. So it looks like the Red Sox are taking some of the money on the side. The total's kind of just sitting at 9.5, juice to the under. 83% of the tickets are on the under and 77% of cash on the under. So it looks like it might be a public under in this game. I actually don't hate the over in this game because I don't really trust either starting pitcher that much. They might not go that deep into this game either, and then you're going to have to get some overworked bullpens into this game. Although, again, the offenses aren't really that formidable. Red Sox on the road, they aren't very formidable. So, tough game to read, man. Cubs, Milwaukee, will skip because that's going to be one of my best bets, which you probably already know what it is. Philadelphia at the White Sox. The White Sox just lost to the Cubs twice, 2 out of 3. White Sox, I think, had to use some of their bullpen yesterday. White Sox bullpen isn't even good anyway. Their offense is obviously not good, so Philadelphia is stepping way down in class here, but they are coming off a couple of big series where they actually won both series against the Red Sox and Yankees. So, yes, Philadelphia is stepping down in class to face a way worse team in the White Sox, but they also might be in a little bit of a hangover spot because they're coming off those 2 big series. But maybe it doesn't even matter that much because Philadelphia, I mean, even though their bullpen is bad, I mean, the White Sox bullpen is also bad. So, like, which one of the bullpens is worse? I don't know. White Sox, this is offense. White Sox have the second worst offense OPS-wise in all of baseball. White Sox are a bottom bullpen, so they're actually worse than Philadelphia's bullpen. Not by a whole lot, but by some. Philadelphia's bullpen ERA is worse, though. I have this arranged by WHIP. So both bullpens not very trustworthy, but Philadelphia probably is going to have their starter go deeper into this game because it is Christopher Sanchez, and he's been probably the best pitcher all season that did not make the All-Star game. His numbers are really, really excellent. 2.4 ERA, 1.09 whip. He's been even better on the road, 2.17 ERA on the road. He is coming off a complete game against the Red Sox where he only allowed 1 run and struck out 12 and didn't walk anybody. Only 4 hits allowed to. Absolute domination of the Red Sox. Did throw over 100 pitches, though, which he had only done, I believe, 1 other time all season. So does that mean he's going to be overworked and kind of have a worse start here? I mean, it's harder to have a better start than that, but I don't know because he threw over 100 pitches in a pretty similar start against the Giants and did not have any sort of letdown really after that. He did get a little bit wild in the start after that with 3 walks, but even so, he's been really, really consistent, man. He's allowed 1 run a piece in every one of his last 6 starts. He hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs since May in any start. And when he did that, he allowed 3 earned runs a couple of times. He's allowed more than 3 earned runs 1 time all season. Philadelphia has been winning behind him as well. What is that? They've won 6 of his last 9 starts. This month, 3 out of 4. This month, 31-4 strikeout walk ratio, 1.19 ERA. I think we get it. I mean, Sanchez is pitching at an elite level right now. And he's facing this really bad White Sox lineup. White Sox haven't seen a whole lot of him. They only have 3 hitters who've ever seen him before. They only have 12 at bats, so they do have a .333 average and 667 OPS, no extra base hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. So I still think Sanchez is going to come in and pitch well here. I mean, the only hitter that's really done anything against him is Taylor, 3 for 7. So I think Sanchez should be fine in this game. He's going up against Davis Martin, who has been okay for the White Sox, 3.89 ERA, 1.24 whip. Better at home, 3.02 ERA. I believe he just came back from injury. He was out for more than a month. Came back and had kind of a shaky start at Tampa. He walked 4 guys in 5 innings, but he did hold them to 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts. It was an okay start, not great. Against Philadelphia, Martin basically hasn't been seen. Only Keller has seen him before, and he's 0 for 2 off him. So Martin actually pretty unfamiliar to Philadelphia. And because Philadelphia is in kind of this like hangover letdown spot, I mean, I'm thinking looking towards an under in this game actually kind of makes some sense, although I wouldn't want to involve the bullpens in that. So maybe a first 5 under again in this game makes sense. Total has dropped a little bit. It was juiced heavily on the over 8. Now it's juiced less on the over 8. 58% of tickets on the over, 94% of the cash on the under, though. So it doesn't look like the money is agreeing with that and coming in on the under. Philadelphia is a huge favorite, a minus 210 on the road. Very public. I don't think you would want anything to do with Philadelphia as far as the side is concerned there, even though, yes, they do have an advantage pretty much across the board, especially offensively, obviously. But the better starting pitcher as well. But if it's a low-scoring game, laying a price like that on the road might not be the way to go. Miami at St. Louis. St. Louis starting to struggle, man. They lost the last 2 games against San Diego, split the series after winning the first 2. I don't think they used a ton of their bullpen yesterday, but McGreevy, unfortunately, did not pitch well because I thought that he was the right side yesterday. He didn't pitch well yesterday. Miami might be in a bad spot here because they had actually won twice against San Diego, and then they beat Milwaukee twice. They were on a 4-game win streak, and they lost the win streak yesterday. And like I say, with a bad team like Miami, by the way, I think their record is I think they're worse than the record would indicate, man. Miami, they're like almost a 500 team. I don't think they're even close to that good. I think they're definitely worse than that. Although their bullpen actually has been kind of mediocre. Their hitting has been kind of mediocre. But after they lost that win streak, I think they're in a bad spot. After that, a lot of times a team like that will be hung over after they lose a win streak like that, coming down from that big series against Milwaukee, although St. Louis does still have a pretty good record. I do like Miami's starting pitcher better. As far as the bullpens are kind of a wash, man. They're both kind of mediocre bullpens. The offense, I think, is probably in favor of St. Louis. Miami, their offensive numbers aren't that bad, but they don't really score that much. So I think St. Louis has the better offense. I do think Miami has the better starter here. Edward Cabrera pitching pretty well right now. Overall this season, 3.48 ERA, 1.24 whip. Those are good numbers. He's been worse on the road, though, 4.35 road ERA. So I don't know if we want to trust him on the road, but he is definitely in good form right now. This month, 2.66 ERA, and very impressively, a 23-1 strikeout walk ratio. And one of the things about Cabrera, he's usually a bit too wild because he's a good strikeout guy. He can throw hard, but if his wildness isn't a factor anymore, no walks in his last 3 starts, we might be on to something here. Cabrera might actually be good, which is why, as far as the Red Sox trade targets were going, I thought Cabrera was one of the better guys to target for them. It looks like they're not even going to be making any deals even of that level, though. So I don't know if the trade rumors swirling around are going to get in Cabrera's head at all. But he's probably not. I don't know, because he's been pitching well. And again, these pitchers might want to look good to help their trade stock if they want to go to some team that's more competitive. He's really only had one bad start this month, which was the one start he didn't go 5 innings against Baltimore. He didn't even walk anybody in that game. He just got hit kind of hard, give up 8 hits. But other than that, he has been really good recently. Up against, who are we playing here? I don't even remember now. Who was this up against? St. Louis. Yeah, that's right. I mentioned it and then it completely slips my mind. He has good numbers against St. Louis. It's a small 14 at-bat sample size, though. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 home run allowed to Brendan Donovan, 143 average overall, 557 OPS. So I would say Cabrera, I think he is in line for another good start here, in my opinion. I like him better than Andre Pallante, who I don't think is very good for St. Louis. 4.91 ERA, 1.37 whip. Arcade, what's up, man? Thanks for hanging out. Pallante, worse at home as well. 5.03 ERA at home. Hasn't been good recently. He's allowed 5 or more earned runs in 3 straight starts. St. Louis has lost 5 starts in a row of his. So he is obviously not pitching well at all. 6.75 ERA this month. 12-7 strikeout walk ratio. All of that is real bad. So I would not want anything to do with Pallante. Oh, and Pallante against Miami. I think he does actually have good numbers against Miami, though, because their offense, again, is not very good. It's only 7 at-bats. Only 3 of their hitters have seen him, but they're only 1 for 7 with a strikeout. So 143 average, 286 OPS. But I don't trust Pallante here. I think Cabrera, obviously, is the pitcher that's in the way better form. So starting pitching-wise, yeah, I mean, you could look to Miami in the first 5 innings here. Just go with the starting pitching matchup, which I think is strongly in favor of Cabrera. I don't love the spot that Miami is in. And I think once you get into the bullpens, the advantage is a little bit less for Miami at the very least. Miami is public, which is insane. 93% of the tickets. Looks like they have 98% of the cash. I don't know if that's accurate. The line has dropped a little bit on St. Louis, down from -120 to -115. But yeah, I mean, if you can get Miami as an underdog in the first 5 innings with that starting pitching matchup, I don't mind that being a look for you there. I almost don't even hate Miami full game, honestly, in that game. Although at some point I think Miami is going to get worse, but I think St. Louis also is. I think both of those teams have records that are not indicative of how bad those teams actually are. Washington at Houston. Houston staying at home, and you got to think they're pissed off right now, man. Houston, they were in a letdown spot after sweeping Arizona, I think, and they lost that first game to the A's. But when I handicapped these games, I actually kind of liked the A's in, I think, 3 out of the 4 of the games. So, yeah, Houston did lose with Hunter Brown on the mound in that series, but the series didn't set up that great for them. But they got to be embarrassed, man. They just lost really badly to the A's. They got outscored horribly, too, in the series. They got outscored 32-7, I think, in that series, if my math is right there, by the worst team in their division, and they're the top team in the division. That's insane. So you got to think Houston is pissed. You got to think they're going to come out with a little bit of fire here. Now, we do have to remember Houston does have some injuries amongst their position players, so a couple of their better bats might still be out of the lineup here. Washington is so bad, though. I mean, I think Washington still has a disadvantage across the board in this game. Washington has a travel disadvantage. I think Houston's going to be pissed off. Houston has the better bullpen by far. Washington's bullpen is awful. I don't think either bullpen saw a ton of usage yesterday, but Washington's bullpen is the worst one by far. Big bullpen advantage to Houston, and Houston still has the better offense, I think, even without some of those players in there. So I think there's no advantage for Washington at all in this game. Starting pitching also is significantly in favor of Houston in this game, in my opinion. Washington is also coming in off beating Minnesota twice, so they've actually won 2 straight series. So I don't know if they're going to be feeling a little bit high on themselves. I mean, maybe not when you're facing a team with a good record like Houston here, but we will see. Zach, what's up, man? You're going to money line parlay those. I mean, I hate parlays because they're independent results and the books never give you, enough value on them, in my opinion. But I mean, if you want to parlay 2 big money line favorites to try to get them as cheaper money lines, I don't really hate that because I do think both those teams should win these games here. I mean, I think they both have a huge pitching edge, which I'll talk about Texas in a minute. I don't hate it. But you know me, I mean, I don't do parlays. Again, I just don't think the books give you good enough odds on the parlay. Something could certainly go wrong, although I do think that both of those teams should win. Brad Lord is the listed starter for Washington. I mean, his numbers are fine on the season, 3.39 ERA, 1.26 whip. He's better on the road, 2.86 ERA on the road, but he's a reliever, man. He's coming out of the bullpen. He made a start last time out, and I was surprised he went 4 innings in that game, and I got caught because I think I went with Cincinnati in that game. I couldn't believe that Lord only gave up 1 run in that game. I mean, he's not even good. He only had 1 strikeout. And you have a game where Washington's bullpen is going to pitch more than half the game, and the bullpen didn't even give up any runs in that game. That just doesn't make any sense to me, man. So I don't think it's going to be as good for Lord and Washington's bullpen this time out. I think they're probably going to be saying, "Oh, Lord," by the end of this. What happened? Because this does not look good to me, man, for Washington here. Lord against Houston. They've actually never faced him before, but I'm not sure that's going to be that much of an edge for him, to be honest. Maybe you'll see Houston's bats take a little bit while to get going in this game, which is one reason why I worry a little bit about the Houston play there. But so they might be slow to start here, and they do have a couple of those injuries. But Framber Valdez obviously is the preferred pitcher here. I mean, he's been really good. 2.67 ERA, 1.13 whip. He's been really good at home. 1.66 ERA at home. We're at the point now where I believe Houston has won 13 starts in a row, I believe, for Valdez. 13 in a row. They haven't lost one of his starts since May 2nd. That's just complete madness. It's completely insane. He's allowed more than 2 earned runs over that stretch, only twice. And those were starts where he allowed 3 and 4 earned runs. Those were both on the road. One was against Texas, so their offense isn't that good. One was against Dodgers, who obviously are really good. This month, he has a 21-3 strikeout walk ratio. He's gone at least 6 innings. in every start going all the way back to mid-June. 2.37 ERA this month. I mean, we get it. Valdez is pitching very, very well right now. Against Washington, he also, I mean, actually his numbers aren't that good against Washington. In 50 at-bats, 260 average is fine, but an 819 OPS is a little bit high, man. So he's allowed some power from Washington. 3 guys have home runs against him, 3 home runs, 6 walks to 15 strikeouts. I mean, Valdez does get a little bit wild sometimes. Lowe has done damage, 8 for 27, 1 of the home runs, 4 walks. But if he can pitch around Lowe, the rest of the guys, I mean, Bell does okay, 4 for 11 with a home run and a walk. But those 2 guys do like basically all of the damage. So I think Valdez still will probably pitch pretty well in this game. I don't think it's worth the price tag, though. Of course, Zach is going to parlay it to get the price down on it. But, of course, Zach's going to need 2 independent outcomes to win there. The money looks like it is coming in on Houston. They're up from minus 220 to minus 246. 89% of tickets, 99% of the cash. A lot of the money coming in on Houston. I mean, I think the way to go here, I mean, the total is really low at 7.5. But I think maybe you could go Houston over their team total here, man, even with the injuries there. If they can get to Lord a little bit and then they can get to this bad Washington bullpen, I think Houston maybe going over their team total, especially as embarrassed as they might be after only scoring 7 runs in the last 4 innings against the A's. But then again, it does mean Houston's offense is in bad form right now, so that does kind of matter in baseball as well. So it's tough to say what I would want to do in this game, man. I mean, it does look like Houston has the edge, so it's like still, the Houston run line is still actually kind of tempting in this game, but you're going to need them to score enough runs, and they might not get the final at bat in the 9th inning either. So you got to take all that into account there. Texas at Anaheim. Anaheim, as Andrew mentioned, because that's his team, his wife's team. They did just beat Seattle last night. They split the series with Seattle. It was a good game for the Angels. Surprising for me, the only run they gave up was a big dumper home run, was the only run that the Mariners scored yesterday. Anaheim's still not a good team, though, man. Their bullpen is very bad. Texas obviously has the way better bullpen. Anaheim does have a better offense than Texas. Texas' offense is terrible. Anaheim's offense is mediocre. But the pitching is heavily in favor of Texas here. Texas, better bullpen, better starter here. Texas coming off an easy 8-1 win. Texas is hot right now, too. They've won 6 in a row. So are they going to have a letdown here? I don't think they will because, I mean, Anaheim is still, kind of creeping up on them in the division. So I don't know. The game does mean a little bit more to Anaheim because Texas is ahead of them in the division. But Texas, they're streaking right now, man. So I don't know if you want to really fade them here. So I don't disagree that Texas should win this game, though. I mean, they have the momentum here. The starting pitching matchup is a complete mismatch for Texas here, and the bullpen is also a complete mismatch. Jacob deGrom pitching for Texas, having a really good season, obviously. He's been really good throughout his career, 2.28 ERA, 0.9 whip. A little bit worse on the road, 2.75 ERA. That's still quite good. This month, he's gone 5 or more innings in every start, going all the way back to actually, I think every start going all the way back to April this year. Only once has he not done that. And over the last couple of months, he's gone 6 or more in all but 1 start. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but 1 start all season, and that was way back in April. This month, he has a 3.13 ERA and 28-5 strikeout walk ratio. He's pitching well, except he has allowed 5 home runs this month. So he's got to get that number down. He actually didn't pitch that well in this exact ballpark at Anaheim. He was only okay. That was his worst start of the month, actually. He gave up 3 earned runs in 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. So is he going to struggle against Anaheim in this one? Because he did last time out. And that does mean the Angels are recently familiar with him. But I don't know. I mean, his numbers are okay against Anaheim. 39 at-bats. He's held him to a very low 205 average. They do have some power off of him, though, and 5 walks and 13 strikeouts. So their OPS is a little bit high against Jacob deGrom. 757 OPS. 2 of the 3 home runs were from d'Arnaud, though. So if he can pitch around him, he might be all right. I'm still expecting him to do pretty well, though. deGrom, and he's up against Jack Kohanowitz, who cannot get his shit together, man. 6.03 ERA, 1.63 whip. Now, Kohanowitz was actually just down in the minors, so I think he's just coming back up to the majors, but he's been really bad. And 6.65 ERA at home, really, really bad. They sent him down to the minors early this month after he got wrecked by this exact Texas team. So even though DeGrom wasn't really that good in that game against Anaheim in this stadium, Kohanowitz was way worse, and he gave up 8 runs to this really bad Texas lineup in 2 2/3 innings. He allowed 8 hits and 3 walks. I mean, that is just awful. So that performance got him sent to the minors. I haven't looked to see what he was doing in the minors, but I'm not going to trust Kohanowitz, man. I'm not ready for to say that he's going to do anything. I mean, maybe they worked with him in the minors and figured out something that was wrong with him, but he hasn't been good throughout his career. His numbers are not good against Texas. His 65 at-bats, 4 walks to 3 strikeouts, 323 average, 778 OPS. So even though DeGrom, there are some stats in there that you might not like with DeGrom against Anaheim, Kohanowitz, all of his stats are way worse. So obviously that's the reason why Texas is this massive favorite here. The opening money line was minus 125, but I think probably Anaheim had a different starter listed. So I think once Kohanowitz was listed, the number went way up to minus 190. That's how bad he is. 93% of tickets, 94% of the cash on Texas. Texas is going to be public. I mean, they have the better record and they're hot right now, so the public will only want to look towards them in some way. I worry about Texas's offense because it is not good, but they have gotten to Kohanowitz enough that I think they should be able to get this done. I mean, I might even agree with like looking towards the Texas run line in this one because I do think they have a huge pitching edge throughout all of this game. But again, Zach's going with the money line parlay there. I mean, I agree with both sides at the very least that we got going on there with Houston and Texas, the Texas parlay there. I worry about the price tag that's on it, though. The Mets at San Diego. San Diego is the team that's returning home from a long road trip. I mentioned there was one team that they were out on the East Coast. They actually went to Washington, Miami, and St. Louis. They have not been back at home since before the All-Star break. So usually it is a bad spot, man, for a team when they've been on the road for so long and then they return home. They have to get back to family life. It tends to be a distraction. But maybe it won't be as much of a distraction because the Mets have one of the best records in the league. So San Diego might not be distracted for that reason, but it is still a travel spot, return home spot. So not the greatest spot for San Diego, but at least they're facing the Mets because that's going to have their attention. But also the Mets played last night. So you know me, I like to look to fade teams that were in the Sunday night game on ESPN because it's a big televised game. And, you know, the team has a quick turnaround time because they had to play at night where all the rest of the teams basically played in the afternoon yesterday. So the Mets have a shorter turnaround time. But San Diego is having to travel in from St. Louis, whereas the Mets are already on the Pacific Coast, so they already have adjusted to the time zone. So they're going down from San Francisco to San Diego. So fairly long trip down the coast, but still, they already have adjusted to the time zone. The Mets are streaking right now. They've won 7 games in a row, and sometimes you don't want to jump in front of a streak like that. But they did use a lot of their bullpen last night. It was a big game. They got that win. Both teams are in bad spots, man. They're both in spots where I would want to look to fade those teams, and unfortunately, they're playing each other, which really sucks. San Diego has the better bullpen, and they didn't get used as much last night, yesterday. So San Diego does have a bullpen edge in this game. They may very well have a starting pitching edge, too. Frankie Montas is pitching for the Mets. He just came back from a long injury, so he hasn't made that many starts this year. He's been mediocre, 4.62 ERA, 1.3 whip. He's been pretty bad on the road, 7 ERA on the road, but this is a pitcher-friendly park here. He's actually been better in his last 3 starts. The Mets have won all of those games, 13-2 strikeout walk ratio across those 3 starts. Still kind of ramping up. He's at least got at least 5 innings in each of them. But he hasn't made 6 innings in any of them. 3.86 ERA across that span there. Did have one start against the Yankees, which was the most difficult start out of all of them. He did the least well in that one, but he still did okay enough that they won the game. I mean, he got a lot of run support in that one. So he is pitching okay. I mean, he's facing the Giants, who aren't a very good offense, but they actually... Or excuse me, not the Giants. What am I saying? They just faced the Giants. Sorry. He's facing San Diego. San Diego's offense has actually struggled for quite a while now. Montas actually has done really well against San Diego. In 83 at-bats, 25 strikeouts, 3 walks, 217 average, allowed 533 OPS. So Montas might actually do well here, even though I don't like the Mets once it gets later into this game as they, tire out and they have a kind of overworked bullpen. I think the advantage shifts to San Diego later in the game. The Mets do have the better offense, though. San Diego hasn't been that good since their hot start to the season, man, although they are better at home. So that's something to keep in mind as well. San Diego is way better at home than they are on the road, and the Mets are below 500 on the road. So that might be somewhat of an advantage to San Diego with the home-road dichotomy there. Dylan Cease is pitching for San Diego. He hasn't been that good this year, man. 4.59 ERA, 1.3 whip. He was way better last year. He has been better at home, though. Again, it's a pitcher-friendly park, 3.48 ERA at home this year. He's pitching somewhat better this month, I guess, or the last couple of starts he's been better, allowing only 2 earned runs across those last 2, both on the road, but they were against Miami and Washington, so not good offenses. 15-3 strikeout walk ratio over that span. This month, 27-6 strikeout walk ratio is pretty good. So, I mean, his strikeout rate is still there. His walk rate has kind of gone down a little bit. 4.84 ERA this month is still not good. I mean, he got hammered by Philly and Arizona, but those are 2 good offenses. So he is up against another good offense here, though, in the Mets. So what is he going to do against the Mets? In his career, he hasn't been that good against the Mets. His 61 at-bats, he's given up 5 home runs to them, although 3 of them are Lindor. 19-4 strikeout walk ratio is not bad. 279 average, 897 OPS, though. So they have hit him for a bit of power. So I don't even know if we could trust Cease either here, man. So I think early on in this game, I actually think that Montas probably has the starting pitching edge. Even though it looks like the Mets are very public, 75% of tickets, only 56% of the cash. I mean, the public, they're going to come in on the team that they saw just win the Sunday night game, the team that's hot right now, winning a lot of games right now, the team with the better offense. That's the Mets. The public will come in on them. First 5 innings, I think maybe makes sense to take the Mets. I think later on in the game, though, the advantage does kind of shift to San Diego. Even though they are in that dreaded return home spot, San Diego's down from -130 to -126. It's not often that I'll say that I think the team that'll do better in the first 5 innings might be the team to lose the overall game. But this could be a game like that. But usually you want those things to kind of coincide. But that's a difficult game to figure out. Pittsburgh at San Francisco. Of course, San Francisco had to play last night, so they have a quick turnaround time. But they're not traveling. So at least San Francisco doesn't have to travel. Pittsburgh is having to travel from home, so Pittsburgh's having to cross a bunch of time zones, so they have to get used to the Pacific Coast, so it's not really a great spot for either team either here. Even though Pittsburgh starting a road trip, usually you are focused to start a road trip. Pittsburgh has momentum right now, too, coming off a couple of home wins. So it could be a good spot for Pittsburgh, but it could also be a bad one. I mean, you have to kind of balance that out. Like, there are good aspects to it and bad aspects to it. Mitch Keller is pitching for Pittsburgh. He's having a pretty good season, 3.53 ERA, 1.16 whip, 2.9 ERA on the road. He does pitch well on the road. This month, he's been good as well, 2.1 ERA in 4 starts. Pittsburgh has won 4 of his last 5 starts, 20-5 strikeout walk ratio, so he is pitching well right now. Mitch Keller. Up against the San Francisco Giants, he's done pretty well as well. In 58 at-bats, 19-4 strikeout walk ratio, 241 average allowed, and 652 OPS. So Keller could be in line for a decent start here, man. Obviously, San Francisco has the better bullpen, but they saw more bullpen usage yesterday, and they have a less rest here. So San Francisco's bullpen advantage isn't as much as it would be otherwise, with the fact that their bullpen is the way better bullpen. They basically had a bullpen game yesterday, so I don't know if we trust San Francisco's bullpen either. And we got Carson Whisenhunt pitching for San Francisco here. He is making his major league debut, and I had to look up who this guy is, man. And guys in the major league debut, a lot of times, they can fool major league hitters, man, because those hitters haven't seen him before, so the hitters don't know what to expect. That could be the case here. Now, Whisenhunt, his numbers are not good in AAA, though, okay? So in AAA this year, his ERA, I think, is like above 4, and his whip is like 1.3 something, so that's not that good. His strikeout walk ratio was okay. It was like 80 or something strikeouts and like 20-something walks. That's not too bad. But Whisenhunt, I worry, man. I worry about those AAA numbers, man. Your ERA is in the 4s. Your whip is 1.3. That's very mediocre at best. So he's not dominating in AAA. Whisenhunt has a very weird profile, though. So he is a lefty. Sometimes these lefties, for whatever reason, don't actually throw as hard, and that is the case with Whisenhunt. He does not have a fastball that blows guys away. He throws the fastball in like the low 90s, but I guess his primary pitch, it's a fastball, but it's like a moving, like two-seam fastball. So his deal is his movement, and I guess he has a changeup that's considered to be like the best changeup that like has ever been seen, basically. He has a changeup that's rated higher than like any... Like, I looked at scouting reports on, like, MLB.com. They have, like, ratings on every pitch. They give this guy's changeup a 70, which is, like, the highest rating that I've seen for any pitchers, like, any single pitch for any pitcher, I think. So this guy has this ridiculous changeup that I guess looks the same as his fastball coming out of his arm, and then it has this weird sinking movement to drop out of the zone, and I guess it's a pitch that is in, like, the low 80-mile-an-hour range. And it fools hitters, but he doesn't really have anything besides the fastball and changeup. So it's almost like he's like Keith Folk or something. It's almost like he should be like a reliever almost, because I guess he does throw a slider and a curveball as well, but I guess they're not very good pitches, and he has trouble controlling them. So I don't know what we're going to get out of Whisenhunt here, man. I mean, he does have the advantage of having a really weird pitch arsenal, and Pittsburgh is a bad offense, and they haven't seen him before. Both of these offenses are pretty bad. J-Main, what's up, man? Thanks for coming back. At least I got that one right yesterday, that one play. Hopefully you played Ginn in fantasy, by the way. Elder was terrible. Ginn was good. Yes, sir. Fantasy, you know, I haven't done it in a while, though. I'm decent at fantasy. I think I'm better at... I've been doing this for over an hour now. We're on the last couple of games. I haven't given out. I have two best bets that I haven't given out yet, though. But I'm talking about the second to last game here. We're on these late night Pacific Coast games here. Anyway, in this game, it looks like initial movement on the money line was on the Giants, up from minus 115 to minus 127. They got 64% of the tickets on them, but 75% of the cash, it looks like it's coming back on Pittsburgh, even though on Action Network I actually saw their like indicators were actually saying San Francisco had market indicators, including the sharp money move on the money line here, but we can see that here anyway. According to the pregame numbers, though, here, it looks like Pittsburgh is getting the money, and pregame uses like a different set of books that I think actually cater more to professionals, so I think it's easier to see where the professional money is actually coming on this site than on Action Network, which Action Network brings in all the, you know, public books, you know, all the online books, the DraftKings or whatever, whereas this I don't think takes it as much into account as far as I know. So anyway, the money might be coming back on Pittsburgh here. I don't necessarily disagree with this because, again, I think San Francisco, they're at the rest disadvantage here, even though Pittsburgh did have to travel cross-country, which is a concern. San Francisco's bullpen is completely wiped out after yesterday, and Mitch Keller is he's at least the predictable of the two pitchers here, I think, and I think we can predict that he's probably going to pitch fairly well in this game. It's possible that you maybe want to look towards an under in this game, maybe early on, because I really don't even think you want much to do with these bullpens on either side, really. So you could say maybe Keller will pitch well, and maybe Whisenhunt will fool Pittsburgh's hitters enough, and they're not a good offense. So maybe an under, and it is an under-friendly ballpark as well. First 5-inning under might make sense in this game. The total has a little bit more juice now on the under 8. 70% of the tickets, it says 99% of the cash on the under. I don't buy that, but maybe the money is indeed coming in on the under in this one. Someone picked up Ginn. Oh God. I hope you got, who else was good yesterday? Irvin, but I didn't expect Irvin to do that well, but he did. And then, one of the other guys pitched well. I forget who though. Hendricks pitched pretty well. You went under 7.5 on which game? On this Pittsburgh-San Francisco game, you went under 7.5? Yeah, I mean, I would say that's a little bit iffy. First 5 innings, though, if you do that on that game, if you have to go under 3.5, that's a little bit iffy as well. You had Ben Brown. He actually did well yesterday, didn't he? The G-men, the Giants, yes. I've never heard anybody call the San Francisco Giants the G-men. Actually, it seems so weird to me. It's only the New York Giants. I think Ben Brown did do well for you yesterday, though, against that bad White Sox lineup. Brown actually had a good start for once. Seattle at the A's now here, this final game. The A's, I mean, I think they could be in a letdown spot here, man. They're actually returning home from a long road trip, too. So it's actually San Diego and the A's both returning home from long road trips. The A's went to Cleveland, Texas, and Houston. So they're having to return home, and they're not a good home team either, the A's. They have this, weird AAA stadium they're playing in. They don't have a home advantage at all. They really seem to have a home disadvantage, actually. They play really poorly at home. They're 20-31 at home. Mariners actually have a better offense on the road because their home stadium is very pitcher-friendly, but this is one of the most hitter-friendly parks that's out there. So I think Seattle actually probably has the offensive edge here, even though the A's offense isn't that bad either. But will we see some scoring in this game? I don't know, because I actually like the starting pitching matchup too. Seattle definitely has a bullpen edge here. The A's bullpen is horrendous. So overall, I do think Seattle does have the advantage in this game. I think they probably have the better of the two starters too, but I think both starters line up to maybe pitch okay in this game. So it's a crazy game with a lot of things going on here. Like generally, I would say you want to fade the A's though, because they are in that bad return home spot. And I do think that because Seattle has the bullpen advantage here, and because they play better on the road and the A's don't play well at home, I do think Seattle might be worth a look in this game. Luis Castillo is pitching for Seattle. Pretty consistent for them, 3.3 ERA, 1.24 whip. He's been worse on the road, though, 4.74 road ERA, so he pitches a lot better in that pitcher-friendly ballpark in Seattle. He is pitching really well right now, though, this month. 2.28 ERA, 28-4 strikeout walk ratio. Seattle had won 5 games in a row behind him until he had a kind of bad start against Milwaukee. Gave up a lot of hits at least, but the fielding failed behind him, and he couldn't get out of one of those innings. And I think I actually lost an under that I gave out on that game, if I remember correctly. So that game, not entirely his fault. Castillo up against the A's does have pretty good numbers in a big sample size of 80 at-bats. He has a dominant 29-2 strikeout walk ratio against them, a 200 batting average allowed, 595 OPS. So Castillo pitches pretty well against the A's, man. And he's going up against J.P. Sears, who's having an okay season, 4.98 ERA, 1.25 whip. He is worse at home in this stadium, though. He's given up a lot of home runs. 13 of the 22 that he's allowed this year have been in this stadium. 5.61 ERA at home, not good. His recent form isn't that bad, though. He has a 24-4 strikeout walk ratio this month, which is not bad. So his command has been there. He actually hasn't a lot of hits, but he's allowed 4 home runs over the last 3 starts. So that's been, again, the problem, allowing too many home runs. 4.5 ERA this month. Overall, he's not pitching that badly, though. Against Seattle, he actually has good numbers and a huge 109 at-bat sample size. They only have 18 hits off him, 26 strikeouts, 6 walks. He's held him to a ridiculous 165 batting average and 482 OPS. You almost never see a sample size that big where a starting pitcher has held that offense to that low a batting average and OPS. So Sears basically dominates Seattle's offense, which is kind of insane to think about. So this game has a lot going on. I think overall I do lean to Seattle because it is the bad spot for the A's. You do have to lay a price, minus 120 on the road. If you do want Seattle, I think you would have to go full game on this because you want Seattle's bullpen advantage to be working for you there. The A's bullpen is terrible. 60% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the A's, though. Not sure I agree with that. I could see the under in the first 5 innings as well. I mean, of course, we have a high total. It's at this A's stadium. The total's at 10. The juice on the under has actually become a little bit lessened, so the money has kind of moved towards the over a little bit. But I see 53% of tickets on the over and 92% of the cash on the under. So it looks like the public kind of wants the over here still. I mean, they think Seattle, Raleigh, all right, we're going to get some offense here. Oakland or the A's, their stadium, very offensive, conducive. But I think the ways to look at this game, again, are first 5 innings under. I like how both starting pitchers actually match up here. That at the A's stadium might be a little bit dangerous, though. So I think Seattle money line might be a better way to look at that game. Your pitchers for today are who? Eflin and who else? Well, I'm about to talk about Eflin right now, man, because we're about to head into that was the rundown. I always forget to put my graphic up on the screen here that I made not that long ago. We're moving into the best bets now, man. At least that under that I gave out on the show hit yesterday, and I was right about one of the 2 first 5 unders that I said were almost plays. The Pittsburgh, Arizona one was good. Sorry, Paul Skeens actually went way over his strikeout prop total, so I apologize for that. I thought it was a little bit questionable. But anyway, that game did go under in the first 5. The Cleveland and Royals game, I think, wound up pushing on the 4, if you got the 4 there. Eflin, Sears, Castillo, Mizorowski, Keller, and Slade Ciccone. I mean, I don't hate any of those pitchers today, actually. They all look like they match up decently, in my opinion. I mean, you can go back and watch my show. I talked about every single one of them if you want to see what I showed with all their numbers. I just look at ESPN batter versus pitcher, though, so you can see what I thought about them. But Zach Eflin might be the most questionable of these. But guess what I'm doing, man? I'm going the Orioles first 5 innings money line here. That's one of my 2 plays here, man. The Orioles, I think they have some advantages in this game, man. I mean, they're staying at home. One thing is, Toronto's been so hot recently, and I don't think they're as good as their ridiculous record looks. Toronto, they're not quite as good on the road. They're 26-26 on the road. Baltimore's only 24-26 at home. So the Jays being on the road here, the team's home road records are not that different. The fact that we get this game at Baltimore here. So that's where I'm kind of starting here. So I think this line is going to look a little bit misleading, man. When the public looks at this, they know how hot Toronto's been. They know what Toronto's done recently against the Yankees and whatever. But it looks like Toronto is a public road underdog almost at this point with 83% of the tickets, only 61% of the cash. So the public is pouring in on Toronto looking like, oh my God, how do I get such a cheap price? And you're going to look and see Bassett has a way better ERA than Eflin. It looks so easy to take Toronto, but the money line has already flipped Baltimore from plus 104 to minus 108. So this is reverse line movement coming in against the public side of Toronto here. So I think there is actual money coming in on Baltimore. And I actually agree with it. I mean, Toronto is having to travel, so they're coming off a huge couple series, man. They just played Giants, Yankees, Detroit. Those are huge series against teams with good records. And they just finally lost that win streak that they had. They'd won 4 in a row against the Yankees in Detroit. Finally lost. They won both of those series still, but when a team loses a win streak like that, a lot of times it'll hang them over into the next game. So I think it's a bad spot for Toronto for that reason. I think they might not pay full attention to Baltimore here because it is the team with the best record in the AL East against the team with the worst record in the AL East. So it's possible Toronto has their foot off the gas pedal a little bit here. So I don't like that either. Toronto does have the better bullpen, though. They didn't use that much of their bullpen yesterday. So that's why I'm going first 5 here, even though I would still agree if you went Baltimore full game. I'm not going to disagree with that. I think the situation sets up such that it makes sense, but I think it's a bigger advantage, and you get almost the same price on Baltimore in the first 5 innings. I think it's a little bit cheaper. Like, you can find it around minus 104 on the full game, but I'll take Baltimore's bullpen out of the equation because their bullpen is way worse. I mean, I do have the pitching stats up here. Baltimore, 25th in bullpen whip. Bullpen ERA is pretty bad as well. Toronto, 4th in bullpen whip, although their bullpen ERA is actually a little bit worse than that too. But Toronto still has a significant bullpen edge, so we'll take that out. And now we'll look at the starting pitching matchup. And I think this matchup is not anywhere near as lopsided as it looks. On the surface, it looks like it's way lopsided towards Bassett, but I'm not buying it. Bassett, 3.88 ERA, really good this year, 11-4 record. I mean, his offense has helped him out. His 1.3 whip, though, that's kind of high. It's telling you that something is going on here, man. Bassett, I mean, look at his career stats, man. I mean, he's never been quite this good. I mean, his numbers last year, his numbers actually were significantly worse than that. It looked like he was kind of falling completely off the rails, although he was pretty good, I guess, for a while up until last year, which was only his second year with Toronto. So I don't know, if we should expect Bassett might regress a little bit back towards that. Yeah, he's pitched well recently, 24-4 strikeout walk ratio this month. Toronto's won 4 of his 5 starts, 2 of them against the Yankees. Although those were actually the starts where he gave up the most runs. He gave up 4 home runs in those 2 starts, and kind of, I don't know, in a way he got a little bit lucky because he did walk 3 guys and one. He allowed 11 hits across those 2. Only allowed 6 runs total, but it could have been worse for him in those. And then he did well against White Sox, San Francisco, and he had kind of a tune-up outing going into the All-Star break to kind of help him remain on schedule there, which I actually liked that Toronto did that, where he pitched 1 inning out of the bullpen against the A's. But yeah, overall, 24-4 strikeout walk ratio this month, 2.39 ERA. Yeah, all of that is good. He's actually in good form right now. I get that. He hasn't walked anybody in his last 2 starts or in that relief appearance against the A's. Against Baltimore, though, surprisingly, because Baltimore's offense isn't that good. Toronto does have the better offense. But I think Toronto's going to regress a little bit, man. I don't think Toronto is as good as their record looks. I don't think they're better than the Yankees. Bassett against Baltimore, surprisingly not good. 97 at bats. They have a big sample size against them. They have a 299 batting average against them, 855 OPS. So the 26-6 strikeout walk ratio is good. But Baltimore does hit him pretty well, man. Bassett, I mean, the way that he pitches, he can fool some batters and not others because he doesn't throw hard. He throws a lot of different, like, moving fastballs, but he throws in the low 90s. And the way that he does it is he takes kind of like one pitch and he puts different movement on it. So he has like several different fastballs, basically. And that's basically what he does. But some offenses can hit him. And I think that this is not the mismatch that it looks like here, man. And by the way, if this game is tied through 5 innings and we got the money line here, then it'll be a push. So that's okay, too. Zach Eflin, as we said, pitcher for Baltimore. His numbers aren't good, although his whip isn't that much worse than Bassett's. 5.78 ERA, 1.37 whip. I think the whip is a better indicator than the ERA, man. Yeah, he's been bad both home and away, but he's been on the injured list, man. So he's coming back from injury, and he is a veteran. And a lot of times when a veteran comes back from injury, yeah, sometimes they have to work their way back in. But when it's a veteran like that and they're used to that type of thing, I actually think that they become undervalued coming back from injury, and they get excited. They want to be back out there. I think he is going to be excited. They get to face, the team that's winning their division right now. I think he's going to come out and want to play with some intensity here. Baltimore did lose his last 4 starts before he went on the injury list. He did have a couple of real bad starts there, but his last start wasn't that bad against Cleveland, who is not a very good offense. Toronto is a better offense than that. I said Baltimore. I meant Toronto. Toronto is not they're definitely a better offense than Cleveland. But Eflin, if you look at his numbers against Toronto in his career, he does actually have good numbers against them, which is why I'm doing this. I think the matchup edge, looking at the matchup numbers, it is not the mismatch that you would think it is towards Bassett, and it might actually favor Eflin here. Big sample size, 84 at-bats. He has a 15-1 strikeout walk ratio against him. Eflin usually does have good command, but his problem usually is he allows too much hard hitting, but really, nobody really on the Jays has really done that much damage against him except Vlad Guerrero, 7 for 21 with 2 home runs and a walk. And that's one guy. If you can pitch around Vlad Guerrero, the rest of these guys haven't done that much damage against him. He's held the team to a 226 average, 640 OPS. So I actually kind of like Eflin in this game, and I like the fate of the public here, man. So I'm going to go Baltimore. First 5 innings in that game. If you know me, if you watch my show, I am a contrarian, man. I go with a lot of contrarian plays, and that's where we're going with that one. Eflin, Sears, Castillo, Miz, Keller, and Slade. Yeah, I already read that. Yeah, that's right. I do. Yeah, I like Eflin today. Yeah. Bassett on the road. Well, yeah. I mean, what did I say his numbers were on the road? You went over in this game. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about the total. I don't have a good read on the total in this game. It's Westburg bobblehead night. All right. So that means that that Baltimore has like a promotion where they're going to get more asses in the seats here. I mean, that'd be good. On a Monday night, man, let's get a crowd there. The total is high in this game at 9.5, which does indicate that the odds makers are telling you they think it will be a high scoring game. I do see money coming in towards the under, though. 53% of tickets on the over, 60% of the cash on the under. But again, I don't have a good read on that. I think the market read is definitely towards the Orioles side here. Bassett, I forgot to mention this. Bassett is way worse on the road. His ERA is 3 runs higher on the road. I think I forgot to mention that. 5.66 ERA on the road, whereas Eflin, his ERA is bad, both home and away. So he doesn't have significant splits, but Bassett is way worse on the road. So we have that split working for us, too, in this game. So Baltimore is one play, and then you already know what my other play is, man. It is indeed the under in Cubs-Milwaukee, where I think that the public's going to come in and look at this. Cubs-Milwaukee, man, 2 teams that are known for their hitting. Even though it is Miz starting for Milwaukee here, public, I think, is still going to look at this and want to go over on this game. Although it does look like the ticket percentage is on the under to the tune of 89%, which does worry me a little bit, but 96% of the cash on the under. The total slightly ticked up from 7.5 juice to the over to 8 juice to the under. Not really a significant move, though. I could see going under first 5 innings because if you want to take the bullpens out of the equation, because we saw some bullpen usage yesterday, including Milwaukee did use their closer yesterday in Miguel. So if you did want to go first 5 inning under, I wouldn't hate that either, but I saw mostly 3.5s out there. And you know me, I don't like the 3.5 as much, so I decided to go full game and suck it up. And when I do that, usually what I'm saying is I think the starters are going to get us maybe through like the 6th inning, hopefully, in this game on both sides of this. And then we don't really need the bullpen to pitch as much in this game with 2 starters that are this good. A lot of times I'll do that and I'll just fuck it and go full game under on this. Both teams' bullpens are not that bad. Although, yes, I know both teams' offenses are pretty good, but Milwaukee's offense is worse at home. And I believe the Cubs' offense isn't as good on the road either. I'd have to check that, but I think that is the case. So I think the offensive splits home and away are working for us for the under here. I saw on Action Network, it looked like a lot of the money was coming in on the under. And again, somebody mentioned it earlier. This looks like the best pitching matchup of the day, man. And people might not realize that. It might fly under the radar because Matthew Boyd basically doesn't get any of the accolades, but his numbers this year are insane. 2.2 ERA, 1.01 whip. Really, really good. Slightly worse on the road, 2.45 ERA, but I'm not too concerned about that. The way he's been pitching this month is absurd. He has a 0.67 ERA this month. He's allowed 0 earned runs in 4 of his last 5 outings. The Cubs have won all of those, which, you know, does make sense. They won the one where he gave up 2 runs as well. He has not allowed more than 2 earned runs going all the way back to late May. And that was the only time all season that he allowed more than 3 earned runs in any starts. He's been really consistent. And Milwaukee, I believe, hasn't even faced him this year. So that might be an extra edge for the Cubs because Milwaukee hasn't faced him. And Boyd, I don't even think he was on the Cubs until this year. Yeah, he was on Cleveland last year and only made 8 starts. So Boyd hasn't really been around for a while. It's crazy that he's doing this, dude, because his career numbers would indicate that he cannot be doing this at the age of 34, but he is. I don't know how. But that is what's going on. He actually was good for Cleveland last year, too. But Milwaukee hasn't seen him at any point recently. And his numbers against Milwaukee are dominant. In 33 at-bats, I know it's a small sample size, but he has 11 strikeouts against them. No walks. Yes, Contreras does have a home run off him. But other than that, he's really held them down to a 182 batting average and 485 OPS. That's dominant numbers from Matthew Boyd here. And he's pitching dominantly right now as well with, what was the strikeout walk ratio this month? 26-3. Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely dominating, man. And then Mizurowski on the other side, the Miz. I am the Miz, is pitching for the Brewers here. I mean, he's a rookie and he's already, he's already getting the hype. 2.45 ERA, 0.92 whip. I know he's hyped, but I think this total is a reasonable total to go under here. But yeah, he's been excellent. 0.92 whip. Anything below 1 is insane. 2.45 ERA. He's been insane at home with a 0.56 ERA at home in more innings pitched. They did limit him a little bit around the All-Star break. Well, I guess actually he got taken out of the game against the Mets because that was like his one bad start. He got shelled by the Mets, who are a good offense. But then he bounced back and had a dominant start against the Dodgers going into the All-Star break. So even though there was the All-Star distraction there, I think he wasn't named to the All-Star team until right before the game. So I think he was without that distraction against the Dodgers. He came out of the All-Star break, and I think they kind of just limited him just because they kind of wanted to ramp him up again. They don't want to burn him out. But he went 3 2/3 against Seattle, didn't allow any runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. So he's still absolutely dominating as far as his strikeouts are concerned. He has 40 strikeouts so far in 29 1/3 innings pitched, 15 hits allowed. He's not allowing a lot of hits. 12 walks is a little bit high, but his walk rate has gotten better recently. He's only walked 2 over those last 2 starts in 9 2/3 innings. That's a little bit lower, and compared to 19 strikeouts in that span. 21-5 strikeout walk ratio this month, and yeah, his ERA a little bit higher this month, 4.05, all because of that one start against the Mets. But I think he's going to do well here. The Cubs, yes, they have a good offense, but if he can do well against the Dodgers, man, and I believe that was on the road too. I know it was at home. Never mind, because I was going to say the Dodgers do really well at their home stadium. That was in Milwaukee, but even so, this is also at home for Miz here. And yes, the Cubs are a good offense, but Misiorowski is a legit talent. He's probably the best out of the rookie pitchers here, man. He can really, really fool major league hitters. He throws 100 miles an hour. Maybe he might be the fastest throwing starter in all of baseball here. So he can definitely get it done against any lineup that's never seen him before. So I'm going to go under in this game, and I'll suck it up and include the bullpens. I mean, if you want to go under in the first 5, I would try to find a 4, even though you probably have to go about -120 to get it under 4 with these starting pitchers, because everybody knows how good the starting pitchers are. So I actually think you get a little bit of value maybe in going the full game and just sucking it up with the bullpens and hoping that the starters get you a little bit deeper into this game, and we go under the full game total there. So that's what I'm going with there. Yeah, Miz, very good at home, and that's what we get here. Oh, you're on X. Oh, all right. Oh, thank you, sir. You're sharing my stream. Thank you, man. Thanks for coming back, man. Thanks for being a return visitor. Sometimes I become kind of a dick on here sometimes, but it's mostly because I get these like trolls on Twitter that jump into my comments here and start saying a bunch of bullshit. But I went after one guy who wasn't actually trying to come after me though. So I have a quick trigger finger, man. So I apologize for all that. But that's going to do it for the show today, man. So those are the 2 plays. Baltimore Orioles money line, first 5 innings. Definitely going against the public with that one. And then under in the Cubs in Milwaukee. That's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. Thanks for hanging out, man. Learn to Toad is where I'm at on Twitter and on Instagram, where I do post, short videos on Instagram with all the plays that I'm giving out here. Check that out. Bettor Off Dead, of course, BTTOR here on YouTube, where most of you guys are. Like, subscribe, watch. Thank you guys for all of that. Interact, comment, share it around, and you can help me out by listening to me on audio as well and rating the show on audio, especially on Spotify and Apple. So I am out there as well. And I have Covered in Uke, which is my ukulele cover project that's on YouTube. I'm trying to ramp up the YouTube on that because I've been mostly just posting those things on Twitter for years. I've had the YouTube for years as well, but I haven't really put much effort into it. So now I'm double posting everywhere, and I do have a Patreon if you want to help me out. Patreon.com/LearnToToad, and you can get bonus uke content at the highest level. You can request stuff, and I'll prioritize the requests. And you get a Spotify feed at the mid-tier level with all the audio of the uke covers that I put up, although I think the video is actually better than the audio, just because I look, kind of retarded and whatever, and it's probably funnier. And I think that's it. I do still have the Give, Send, Go out there, which is at givesendgo.com/TowerGangToad, I think, because that's how long ago I created it to help me out with getting canceled over my Kanye West cover and losing my job. But that got a little bit more traction because Antunes, thanks to that guy, actually shared it out there, or shared my story at least, or shared my video, I think. So I posted it under that as well. I got a little bit more of donations from that. So you can do that. You can help me out, through the Twitter, tipping and whatever as well. Because Twitter denied me subscriptions because I'm too aggressive on Twitter or something. So that's great. But that's going to do it, man. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thank you, sir. You're going to be back again. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, obviously you can watch the show here. I mean, it'll remain up on YouTube. And then I am going to get it up on the audio platforms right when I'm done here. Thank you, everybody. J-Main and whoever else was in here today, Scott, Andrew, Zach, Arcade, thanks to all you guys. Let's have a good Monday, kick off the week on the right foot here, get back on track. Peace, everybody.